What's up, guys? I am the Squirrel's Nuts. Today I've got running in the background a game of Rush Attack on Wake Island. It's on the PS3. But what I'm actually going to talk about is I'm actually going to answer your questions today. So this is a Q&A video. You can watch the footage in the background while I'm talking. The questions have come through from our last video. They're in no particular order. I'm just going to sit back, drink my coffee and work my way through them. So the first question comes in from Sam Berry. He says, did you play the original video games, i.e. Mario, and if so, which was your favourite? Well, Mario was not the original video game. It was a very early one, but Mario first made its appearance in 1981, I think, in Donkey Kong. However, he wasn't called Mario, he was actually called Jumpman at that point. He actually got his name properly when he was in Donkey Kong Jr. the year after. And then I think in 83 they brought out Mario Brothers, and that's when he sort of properly established himself with Luigi and all that kind of thing. He became his own brand at that point, not just Donkey Kong's bitch. I started playing games in the arcades, so I started on games like Missile Command and Battlezone, which was made by Atari at the time. I'd have to say that one of my favourites games of the arcade days was Gauntlet. That was about 85, I think. That was from Atari as well. Gauntlet was this kind of game that you could play 4-player. It had 4 joysticks in the arcade, and you could just get in there with your mates. It was totally awesome. And the other game I used to play an absolute buttload of was Outrun from Sega. I used to basically finish that on there was 5 possible exits. One was the easiest, I think, and the 5th one was the hardest. And I could just do them all in the end. I put way too much money in those machines. So they were my original video games, and that's what I loved. Question from Adam Gardner. What's your all-time favourite game? Well, I've played a lot of games, and I've enjoyed a lot of games. I think just based purely on the sheer amount of hours that I've put into games, I would say Total Annihilation on the PC. That was a fantastic game. I used to play that against the computer and against friends over the network. I used to go to LAN parties in London. That was a bloody good game. Civilization as well, again on the PC. I put countless hours into Civilization. And then again, in sort of first-person shooter genres, I think Unreal and Unreal Tournament, they are my favourite games. I can't say I've got one favourite game. I have too many. If you asked me what my favourite board game is, now don't laugh, because I do play a lot of board games, but I don't play the kind of board games you buy in Toys R Us and that kind of thing. I play real men's board games, and for me, the board game geek's board game of all time is Kalos. If you're into board games and you like a proper game, check Kalos out. Right, question from Daniel Harbison. What size TV do you play on? What are the specs of your TV, and how close are you from the TV when playing? And what do you feel is the perfect TV size to play on? Alright, so that's about 4 questions in one, Daniel. It's a good question though. I've found over the years that the sort of size of your screen and the distance you sit from it can have a massive effect on how good you play a game. And personally, I have Sony Bravia. It's a 32-inch Bravia screen. The model number is KDL-32EX401. Sony are very good at naming their products. You know, like the Apple iPhone, they just make names that roll off the tongue, don't they, Sony? It's actually wall-mounted. It's wall-mounted at eye level, and it's I sit about 3 feet away from it. And I find that makes a huge difference to how you react. It doesn't completely encompass my field of vision, obviously, but it does give me a very good view of what's going on. It allows me to pick out the detail in the battlefield. And I think if you set on a crappy screen, or you've got it sort of 5 feet away while you're kicking back in the settee, you're just not going to do as well as if you get a bit closer to it. I mean, you shouldn't get too close to it. You don't want to get eye strain or anything. But the problem is, I think, when you play on these screens these days, particularly if you're on console, the resolution of that screen I have is 1280 by 7. The resolution I have is 1920 by 1080. So it's a full HD, high-res HD Blu-ray screen, if you like. But when you play on console, the games play at 720, so already you're upscaling from 720 to 1080. And the same thing horizontally, so you're kind of playing on a slightly blocky view. Now the Bravias do have sort of processing engines that help to stop the blockiness, but nevertheless, it's not like playing. When I play on PC, I play in a window and I get proper native resolution, and it does make a big difference to the clarity of the image. I could do a video, if you like, sort of camera video of my gaming rig. That would probably give you a better sight into the environment I play in. So if you want that, then yeah, leave me a comment if you want me to do that. Okay, next question. Ethan Muller. Do you ever plan on playing different games besides Battlefield? And also from Mr. Pizzaman, he said, when you get bored of Battlefield, what other games are you planning on playing? I do plan on playing other games, absolutely. I'm going to put other stuff on my channel, not just Battlefield. On my radar, I think, for 2012, having a look at the list, I have to say Syndicate, it looks interesting, especially the 4-player co-op mode in that. BioShock Infinite, I absolutely love the BioShock series. Myself and Ham have played BioShock 1 and 2 all the way through to death. We absolutely love it. Same thing with GTA 5, which, you know, we've played the GTA series to death as well, and I'm really looking forward to another installment of that. Hitman, not played the Hitman series before, but it looks interesting what they're doing in 2012. Blacklight Retribution, can't speak properly. Blacklight Retribution. I have a closed beta key. I've been playing a bit of that, and it does look quite interesting. And then finally, I'd have to say, obviously DICE have got plans for 2012. We don't know what they are yet. It could be another Medal of Honor. It could be another Bad Company. Who knows? But, you know, whatever they put out, obviously I'm interested in playing that. Okay, question from Sean Boxer. Do you like Gladiator movies? Well, I like Gladiator, the one with Russell Crowe in it. I really love that film. But then again, I like all of Ridley Scott's stuff, really. So I'd have to say, if that's what you mean, Sean, then yes, I do like the Gladiator movie. Question from The Leprechaun. What kind of music do you listen to? Well, that's an interesting one, actually, because I listen to quite a lot. I listen across all kinds of genres of music. And if I had to list some out, I would say, on compositional music, I love Hans Zimmer, who does music for films like Gladiator and Last Samurai. I love Enigma. They were a 90s band, if you've ever heard of them. Not really a band as such, but Enigma, they did some wonderful, wonderful music. Jean-Michel Jarre, the French guy who does keyboards, Mike Oldfield, Vangelis, 07. Love all of their stuff. If you want to go more rocky, then AC/DC. I love AC/DC, Def Leppard, Led Zeppelin, Metallica, Pink Floyd, Radiohead. And if you go over to trance music, I love Chicane, Ian Van Dahl, and DJ Tiesto. I like a lot of stuff, and I tend to pick music that matches my mood, or if I'm working, and I'll talk about that in a minute, then I'll generally go for sort of trance music, because I can work to it very well and it doesn't distract me. Next question from Andrew NG. Do you see yourself gaming when you become a grandpa? I've actually answered that one before in a previous video, where I said that I will be playing for as long as my body will allow me. I've been gaming since I was very young, and I have no intention of stopping. I just love gaming, full stop. Now obviously, as you get older, your reaction times start to come down, and your dexterity comes down, your eyesight comes down, and all this kind of thing, and you know, it's a slow process, but you can't ignore it. Whereas I tend to swap experience for that instead. I use my massive amount of experience and tactics and gameplay, and I use that against people who've got better reactions than me. But as long as I can play games, I will. As long as I can play first-person shooters, I will. At some point, it will get to the point where I can't. But then I'll probably just switch to more strategic, tactical games. I just love gaming. Ex-military wants to know if you ever served in the military. No, I haven't. I did think about applying to be a fighter pilot once, and then I thought about applying to be an airline pilot, and ended up not doing either. I just stuck with computing, which I love. The infamous waffle. If I carried you on my shoulders, would you narrate my life? No, I wouldn't, because I'm not a bard. And secondly, I'm 6'3", so if I was sat on your shoulders, I doubt you could walk very far. The Russian Badger. Who's your favourite person to play Xbox with? Oh, well, of course you. I mean, obviously, you're definitely the favourite, best ever Xbox person ever to play with. Yeah? Are you happy now? Next question. From Hawk. Are you planning to do a PC friends list clear out similar to the one you recently did on PS3? Yes. Well, kind of. I mean, I've said this as well about Battlelog friends list. It isn't that big, and I should probably clear it out because it's not as useful to my console guys as it is to my PC guys. So I might weight it more to sort of having 100 people on PC and 50 from console. But yeah, there's a lot of admin with the PS3 clear out, so I'm not going to do that anytime soon. Question from Nocken. What's your favourite best loadout for each class, main weapon, pistol, etc.? Interested to compare with what I use. Alright, so Assault, I'd have to say I like the M2000, the FAMAS and the M16A3. I generally run an M1911 or a G18 suppressed as my pistol, and I almost always run a med kit. Engineer, I love the A91, the UMP45, same pistols, and I generally have an RPG, sometimes get a Javelin out, hardly ever get the Stinger out, and mostly repair tool, occasionally mines. Support, I run the M249, the M27 IAR, and C4 generally, although I switch to mortar when I want to make an advance, particularly in rush. Claymores, very, very rarely. Recon, the M40A5, the M39 EMR. Same pistol setup, and I'll either run SOFLAM or MAV, depending on what I prefer. However, I've run out of time on this video, so I shall find some more footage, do another one, and answer some more of these questions, because I'm about halfway through. So that's all from me in this video. Hope you enjoyed those question and answers. Take care, guys, and I'll see you soon.